You are watching End Zone, sponsored by Brahms.
Welcome to another edition of the End Zone. It is arguably the best week of the year. It is Red River Rivalry week as we get ready to go southbound to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Oklahoma versus Texas. Now, this was supposed to be a couple weeks ago maybe a top 10 matchup, and Texas had to ruin that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away the excitement of this game, though, in this matchup, just everything that takes place at the State Fairgrounds. Along with Camryn Johnson, I'm Colby Daniels. We've got a lot to cover today as we get ready for this monumental matchup. Oklahoma started the week as an underdog. They're now a 1.5 favorite. I don't know what that says about John Mateer, but we'll get into that. First of all, Camryn, OU Texas, like when you think about this matchup, what is the first thing that resonates?
Anything can happen. I think that's the beauty of, like, there are some rivalries in sports that just kind of transcend, like, you know, it's only good when both teams are good.
Right.
This rivalry, no matter what, like one team, like this time, one team could be a top 10 team, one can be unranked, and I mean, you come into this game and it's like they forget everything else that's happened. It's all just honed in on this one game. I love it. I mean, it's just. I mean,
I'm not going to say that I don't love when like both are top 10 teams and maybe like postseason is on the line in this matchup. But to your point, 9 of the last 11 games in this matchup have been decided by one possession. I mean, they have been insanely close, and in some of those, I think Oklahoma was by a mile the better team, and Texas played them tough, and you know, you have a couple blowouts. Obviously, the last 2 Texas wins were blowouts, and the Oklahoma quarterback situation in both of those games plays a big factor there, and maybe it'll play a big factor on Saturday, but this is such a fun game, and I tell the story every year at this time. Like, as a media member, I don't even play in the game, but as a media member, when I get there and I walk down the ramp, and it's dark and, you know, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. As soon as you walk onto the field, there's like this blinding light. And then all of a sudden, when your eyes adjust, you see the crimson and the burnt orange and the people going crazy. And I mean, it just stimulates you in every possible way. You're just like, this is so awesome.
You almost feel like you're playing.
I can't imagine what it would be like to get ready to go, like step on the field and actually play at that point.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be fun to experience? No, I've had that in other instances where you walk out of the tunnel, the music's blaring, the crowd's going, you're like, ooh. I feel like I'm playing, but
and they're walking out of the tunnel simultaneously, so it's like you're looking the opponent in the eye.
You can just feel the energy. I think there's so much specialness around this rivalry in particular, just the way they do things, teams coming out at the same time. It's tough to beat.
Yeah, no doubt. So the big question this week, Oklahoma's quarterback situation, as we referenced, John Mateer, he had the surgery. He didn't play last week. It was Michael Hawkins. He was suited up. He was wearing the brace. People have speculated if that had any meaning. I don't know. I mean, they have had other injured players suit up this year and not play, so take that for what it's worth. But the Vegas point spread would maybe indicate that there's optimism around John Mateer playing. Brent Venables, though, early in the week in his press conference, pretty much shut down the idea, at least at that point, that John Mateer was their guy.
John is doing no good work, so it's Michael and Witt right now. Okay. So if something changes, I'll let you know.
How have you seen, I guess,
but I think if you're going to play, you got to do good on good, right?
Right.
Throw some skelly, hand the ball off, you know, play on third downs. So
he's a competitive kid, and so you know of course he's going to try to you know, get as ready as quick as he can, but ultimately, I don't think anybody wants to put him in a compromising position, you know, just personally. There's steps in the recovery process that he's having to follow right now, and doing a really good job with it.
I don't know. I'm just going to cut you off. I don't know anything about the injury, so I'm just, when they tell me he's available, I'll let y'all know.
I like Brent Venables' sly smile there. That tells me 100% gamesmanship, which goes to the point that they're practicing indoors, right? Like he said, it was 90 degrees. We need to save some of the tread on the tires. You just had a bye week and then Kent State. I don't necessarily believe that, but who knows?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that makes the hype around the game even more fun. Will it come back to bite him? I don't know. But, yeah, I think at this point I would expect Michael Hawkins Jr. to be the guy to play, and I think that's going to be an interesting storyline because he didn't fare all that well last year when he played in this Red River Rivalry game, so it's kind of a revenge game, and I think there's a lot working in their favor, but yeah, I think Ben Arbuckle mentioned it. If John Mateer could make the decision, he would 100% play this game. But I think there's so much that you have to, his career as a whole, like, do you want to risk injury down the line, or, it's kind of like long-term success versus short-term.
I think he's going to give it a go. If I had to put my money on it, I think John Mateer is going to give it a go. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, how he's feeling on game day probably plays a big role in that. I talked with Rodney Anderson earlier this week, and in terms of just this rivalry, his introduction to OU Texas his freshman year.
My first ever Red River experience, I was injured, and so I was, last off the bus. I'm on crutches. My leg had been broken in Tennessee that year, so I'm just like trying to keep up with everybody else. So I'm getting off the bus. I'm very last, clearly not playing. My leg is in a cast. I'm crutching off this bus. And this dad, wearing his Texas gear, all Texas style, he's just shooting me the bird, like, dude, I can't stand you, blah, 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 just all sorts of obscene things. And I'm like, dang, it's like that. And then I look to his right, and his son is down there like, I can't stand you. Like, I'm like, gosh, dang, it's that bad. It's like that kind of hate. You're like brought up to hate these people. Okay, so I totally get it. All right, now I understand this rivalry, and let's go try to win a game.
Getting the double birds from the kid as you pull up to the Cotton Bowl, I mean, that just tells you what the hate is in this rivalry. His younger brother, Oklahoma's last win in this series, Rodney's younger brother, Nick, caught the game-winning touchdown pass. I remember standing in that end zone. Texas had scored. You kind of think, like, I don't know, Oklahoma's going to have to pull off a miracle to win this. They did it. It was insane. It was one of the most awesome moments, I think, that I've ever experienced being inside the Cotton Bowl. Rodney talked about that moment, Nick's game winner in 2023.
So they drove the whole length of the field that last drive. And when he took that motion across and kind of took off towards the corner of the end zone, I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is his ball. And Dylan's getting kind of closed up. He just like lets it go over the top. And for me, I'm sure for everybody in the stadium, that ball was in the air for like 4 days. And I was just like, gosh, dang, like, come on, catch the ball. And for him, I actually asked him after the game, said, yo, how long was that ball hanging in the air? And he was like, forever. And so, it was easy catch though, but sometimes those are the ones that you drop. And he locked it in, he caught it. I don't know, like, to see my youngest brother score in such a such a amazing rivalry, wearing the crimson and cream and my alma mater, that was just a full circle moment, very special. Super proud of him for everything that he did that season. And I don't know, just one of those things. I couldn't wait to go hug him after the game. That's exactly what I did. And, it was a great memory.
There you go. And speaking of game winners, Kennedy Brooks is in the house. We'll talk about his 2021 game winner and his thoughts on the OU Texas rivalry next here on the End Zone. All right, welcome back to a Red River Rivalry edition of the End Zone. Joining us is a Red River legend, former Oklahoma running back, Kennedy Brooks. Kennedy, thanks for joining us, first of all, especially this week.
Yes, sir. Yes,
OU
sir.
Texas, you gotta just be juiced every year in October when these teams are getting ready to match up.
When it gets time to that point, it is so much fun. The atmosphere, just practicing, just the team, and honestly, the whole history about it is kind of crazy. So I'm stoked for it. I can't wait to see what they do, and let's go from it.
What's your earliest memory of this rivalry?
Man, the earliest memory, it's crazy. It has to go all the way back from Trey, and what was it? It was the hurdle. It was when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Like it was when I was a kid. So that was like the earliest memory was when I first started watching football, and obviously it was OU Texas. So watching him, and when he hurdled that guy and also ran somebody over.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I was okay. I got to be a part of this.
I mean, I think everybody's probably seen that replay about a billion times for sure.
Ridiculous.
I would imagine as a Texas kid, there's like a special amount of hate in your heart for playing Texas.
100%. I never got an offer from Texas. And obviously they're just down the street from us. So like it's a lot of hate to it. It's a lot of like just want to get a revenge from it. And I can't wait to play them this year. So I love it.
Yeah, It's always so interesting with Oklahoma being such a hot spot, even for students, people from Texas, just to see that relationship of, people going back home or, close to home and getting that revenge. It's always such a fun thing to watch play out, and it's just,
So my dad's from Oklahoma and my mom's from Texas, so I always had that split rivalry. So it was always hate towards that game. It was always hate. One house is over here, one house is over here, and that game it just fires it. And I remember when I was in Pee Wee, I used to play for Texas, unfortunately. It was called the Texas Longhorns, and we played Oklahoma Sooners this week, literally, and we blew them out. And unfortunately, I was with the Texas Longhorns, but now I switched sides and.
Well, whatever side you've been on, right? It's the right side. So there's a crazy stat in this series, at least over the last 25 years.
Yes.
The team that has won the rushing battle has won 24 of the last 25 matchups. I mean, you can speak to that as a running back, but I think that really points to just winning the physicality on the line of scrimmage, right?
100%. It's going to be the most physical game every year. It always is. The one who holds down the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a physical, dominated game. When I was there, and Coach Riley, man, he always tells man, whoever runs the ball, whoever gets down there, is going to win the game. And like you said, it proves every year.
So 2021, 217 yards.
Yes.
People forget, you had the game winner, but you scored a touchdown in the fourth.
Yes.
That was a monster touchdown.
Right.
Was it the same play?
Exact same play.
I thought it was the same play. I've never actually heard any clarification on that. But all right, so we're gonna show the play.
Okay.
Walk me through the final touchdown, the game winner, because I don't know. Were you thinking I'm gonna score? Or were you thinking let's just get this into field goal range?
Okay, so I was thinking.
There he goes.
Yeah. So I was thinking. Honestly, I was thinking how to score. So we just called a timeout, right? We're in a timeout, and when they tell me I'm getting the ball, I talked to DeMarco, and he tells me, man, he said, "Are you ready to get the ball?" I said, "Yeah, bro, let's go do this." And I asked him, right before we get to, do you want me to score? Or do you want me to give me a full goal? And at first,
I'm taking it to the house if you want me to.
Yeah. At first, he said, "No, get what you can, right?"
Yeah.
And then we leave the huddle, and he says, KB, and I look back, and he said, "Hey, go score. Hey, you go score, right?" So, hey, what happened was, man, it was surreal. First of all, catch the ball.
Yeah.
Let's catch the ball first. And then after that, man, when the hole closed when I got there. So I had to go outside. And
When did you know that you were getting to the end zone?
honestly, when I passed the last dude. I ain't gonna lie. I really thought I was gonna get caught.
Yeah.
I really did. Because two guys had angles on me, and it's so funny. People come up to me to this day and say, "Man, that's the fastest I've ever seen you."
Fastest he's ever gone. You know what? At the most important time.
Yep, exactly.
So saving the best for last. All right, Kennedy Brooks, we're going to try to move the chains on the other side of the break. You're watching The End Zone. All right, welcome back to a Red River Rivalry edition of The End Zone. Kennedy Brooks, former Red River legend,
Yes, sir.
is joining us this week as we get ready for another monumental matchup. I can't wait for Saturday. I keep saying I'm just... anyway, moving the chains is where we're at in the show. So you're going to start with 1st and 10. I'm going to ask you questions. Camryn's going to give you positive or negative yards depending on how well or how badly potentially you answer these. So no pressure at all. No pressure. Do you want to score here?
I do want to score.
I'm just going to do what
want to
DeMarco
score.
did, and we'll see if you see
Yes, I
daylight.
wanna score.
All
I wanna
right,
score.
1st and 10. Top 4 college football rivalry games.
Top 4? Okay. OU Texas, of course. Bama and LSU. Man. What else? USC and oh my goodness.
Notre Dame?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
USC, Notre Dame?
Yes.
Okay.
And Florida and Florida State.
Okay, Florida State. There we go.
Okay, you're missing one of the big ones. Ohio State, Michigan.
Yes.
It's hard when you're on the spot.
It is.
Okay, so most of those were good, but for missing that one, we'll start off with 3 yards.
Okay.
I
We
mean,
move. That's positive.
That's generous.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 7, you're in good shape. All right, 2nd down. Who are the Texas players over the course of this series that have drawn the most rivalry hate, either from OU as a team or the fan base? Are there guys that you can think of that like everybody seems to rally around like that's the face of hate in this rivalry?
It's the actor McAfee. No.
McConaughey?
Yeah, McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Okay.
That's what I think of. Do I need to name somebody else, or?
Do you want to name somebody else?
Let me think. The hate of it.
Let me pull out the list.
I think
Vince Young or
Sam Ellinger to me has to be high on that list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially because he did the whole like we're back thing, and
yeah.
so like I think a lot of
That's
OU
neat.
fans have gotten on him. The other one I thought of Brecken Hager. You remember the
Was he
linebacker,
long-haired?
long-haired
Number
kid?
44?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like
I know
OU fans
that.
hated that
Yeah.
guy though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right, Camryn, what do we got? Second down. What are we giving him here?
Yeah, those are some good ones. I'll go ahead, keep it a little shorter, but still, I'll give you 3 yards.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we
Okay.
go. Here we go.
Okay.
3rd and 4. 30
You're
minutes.
chipping away.
You got
You're
this.
chipping
Let's
away.
get it.
All right, what is your favorite Red River Rivalry story? When people tell you, like, ask you about this game, what's a story that you always share?
A story? I mean, it has to be when I scored a touchdown. It has to be. I mean, that was a crazy story. The comeback.
No, like fist fights in the tunnel as you're walking out or anything like that?
You know what's crazy? We actually got a personal flag. Yeah, we actually got a personal flag right before that game. So the whole team was flagged, and then also it was funny. I honestly think it wasn't my year. I think a couple of years before that it was it almost came a brawl through
Oh
walking
yeah,
out.
at the 50
Yeah, at
before the
50.
game even started. Yeah,
So-
in pregame
so
work. Yeah.
That had to be that. That had to be that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
There's a reason this is a really good rivalry, and I think it's because of the hatred, like you said there. I'm going to give you 5 on that one. First down.
All right, first
Yes,
down.
there we
All right,
go.
so you're playing with house money now.
Let's go.
So you're going to get one more down.
Okay.
Everybody loves a Fletcher's corn dog at the state fair. So what is the best corn dog condiment? Are you team ketchup or team mustard?
Mustard.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go. I'm weird because I will put both on a hot dog. So you could not go wrong either way there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you a 5 on that one.
All right, I'm giving you a touchdown.
There we go.
You know what?
fair.
There we go.
After review, he got into the end zone again. Kennedy Brooks joining us on this edition of the End Zone. You got a quick prediction on the game?
All that matters is that we win.
There we go.
All we matters is that we win. They're going to go out there and dominate, and I can't wait to see it.
All right. Offensive shootout? You gonna go that far? That'd be pretty bold.
Honestly, I believe in our offense. I'm an offensive guy.
Okay.
And I don't think they can stop our offense, honestly. They've been struggling, and obviously it showed in Florida. And so I think that we got a good chance to do that.
All right, there we go. You heard it here. Kennedy Brooks joining us on this edition of the End Zone. We'll take a timeout, and we wrap up the show with game picks next.
Time now for the Brahms in the Bag Pick of the Week.
All right, let's make some game picks. I'm feeling good this week. I feel maybe Kennedy Brooks is going to rub off on me, and I'm gonna get into the end zone. My picks have been so dreadful this season. Cameron's on a heater, so if you're looking for any sort of like gambling advice against the spread, she's on a heater, so follow her lead, but stay away from what I've got to offer because it's not been good at all. All right, game number 1 this weekend. We've got a big slate. Ohio State at Illinois, top 25 matchup.
I'm going Ohio State on this one. In fact, I think I'm looking at them to win by more than 2 touchdowns, probably a 3-score game. But you never know. But I'm rolling with the Buckeyes on this one.
I'm going to go ahead and call it and say Illinois is a complete fraud.
Yeah.
And it's the Buckeyes big, so I will give away the touchdown and half point there. All right, game number 2, Alabama at Missouri, another big-time matchup in the SEC, 2 top 25 teams.
This one I feel like going in is one of those upset alerts. I think it's there. The potential is there. But overall, I think Alabama has recovered tremendously from that first that loss to start the season. A win over Georgia, and they're feeling confident. Mizzou hasn't really played anyone super tough yet, so I'm going with the Tide.
Bama might have the best quarterback in the country right now. That's only because John Mateer's hurt. Missouri has the best running back in the country. Bama's tested, though, and I don't think Missouri is, so give me the Crimson Tide just simply because I think they have faced top-level competition. All right, game number 3. This is also a massive game, and this probably has postseason implications. Indiana at Oregon. Weird to call this a Big Ten matchup.
Right. No, I went back and forth on this one for a long time. I think, kind of like Alabama, Mizzou, there is a real potential for an upset here. But I just think Oregon, it's going to be a close one, but Oregon ultimately pulls away late in this one and gets the win. I'm
actually with you here. I think on a neutral field, this is probably a closer game, but the whole body clock thing and traveling to the West Coast, I think Oregon gets the better of them. All right, will the Cowboys get it done this week, Camryn? Will they at least stay within the point spread?
I fear not.
Oh, no.
I mean, the quarterback situation keeps getting worse and worse, so maybe at some point you hit rock bottom and you just start going up because it's the only option, but I don't know that happens this week. You really wish they would get something at home, but...
You're right. At some point you hope that it goes up, but until I start to see it trend that way, it's hard to pick them, so
yeah.
I'll take Houston and give the points. All right, finally, Red River Rivalry, OU Texas. OU was the underdog early, they're now the favorite.
Yeah, this one, you never know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a super close game, probably a one-score game. I think it's going to be a lot of defense, especially if Mateer is not playing. I'm going with the Sooners on this one, a very close one.
I'm guessing, total guess, John Mateer plays. Low-scoring game, though, defensive battle. Oklahoma scores late, and it's a Sooner victory.
I'm concerned that our picks are the same.
There we go. Yeah, you should be. You should be. That's not a good sign. All right, everybody have a great Red River Rivalry weekend. We'll see you next week here on the End Zone.